Welcome everyone to Ultimate Gamer Podcast, episode 11. We have here with us Kevin.
Hey everyone.
And what you just heard is by Avitran, or Waltz for Luma here on YouTube. She is creating the official soundtrack for Cryamore, which is going to be an indie-developed RPG. The Kickstarter starts on, I believe it's January 25th. Definitely contribute to this project. They definitely have a very good idea going here. Everything's original, and the music, especially the soundtrack, as you can hear, is excellent and top-notch. There'll be a link in the description to both the channel for Waltz for Luma as well as the main page, the Tumblr page for Cryamore. Definitely check it out and definitely contribute if you can. So we have a very interesting topics to cover today. Most of them, unfortunately, are going to be returning from last week's episode, which we, interestingly enough, titled, what was it? The video game Witch Hunt. Yeah, Video Game Witch Hunt. Sorry about that. So I guess we're going to call this Video Game Witch Hunt 2.
Electric Boogaloo?
Hey, go ahead. Whatever. That works. Yeah, so do you want to start us off?
Okay, well, since last time we were talking about like all that crap that would happen, two interesting news things have happened since then. First one comes from a representative of the House of, I think it's from Utah. His name's Jim Matheson, and he's proposed a bill to the House called the Video Games Rating Enforcement Act.
Okay. What does that entail?
What it does, it requires rating labels on video games and to prohibit the sales and rentals of adult-rated video games to minors. Businesses that fail to adhere to this bill, were it to pass, would then be fined in excess of $5,000.
Basically, they're creating the law that GameStop thinks exists.
Yeah.
Wow. Now.
Yeah, it's
but
fucked up.
It can't sound that simple. There's got to be some stupid aspects of this rule.
Yeah.
Like.
But,
Well, I've read up a few things, and one of the things I found was pretty stupid. Basically, it's going to be a very dumb law. And what it will do is it will basically categorize anything rated T and up as being violent. And you know what kind of games are rated T, right? You know, very violent games such as Forza Horizon, Dance Central 3. You know, I mean, we wouldn't want our children playing these.
Oh, yeah, you know.
You know, I think we really need to fine $5,000 for anyone who sells these clearly violent, disturbing video games to minors.
We have to stop these clearly violent video games because they are clearly the spawn of Satan.
Of course, just like comic books, movies when they first came out.
Now, the good news about this bill, there is good news out of this, is that first off, it does not have a sponsor.
Okay.
Okay. Which means this guy is the only one who's who has proposed this. There's no other representative that's behind this.
Huh.
Okay. Second, so the good thing about that is that if it doesn't get any sponsors, then it most likely won't pass commission.
Well, that's good. Let's hope it doesn't. I mean, if it does get a sponsor, I mean, us as gamers really need to stand up for ourselves. The same way we stood up for ourselves for the Pippa and SOPA, this is just as bad.
Yeah.
You know, because you have clearly a bunch of retards who have power to create bills and laws. They have too much power when they shouldn't really be able to create any of this crap.
You notice how this shit only happens in January?
What do you mean?
Like last year, the whole Pippa and SOPA thing happened in January.
Well, I figure that everyone's still fat and sleepy after eating all this shit.
No. So yeah. And then there was the other thing where a Missouri representative named Diane Franklin is proposing a violent video game sales tax.
She's a bitch.
Yeah. She's calling for a 1% sales tax in Missouri on any games that have received a teen, mature, or adult-only rating.
Which, if she was smart, she'd realize that there are no adult-only games.
There's...
And not all teen games are violent.
Here's the thing. Officially, I think there's like only 25 rated AO
but
games.
If you think about it, Microsoft, Sony, and Nintendo refuse to allow any adult-only games on their console.
That's what I was going to get at.
So if anything, if it's an adult-only game, it's going to be only on the PC, and someone's going to either just buy it from any online retailer, or they'll just pirate it.
That's what I was going to get at.
Oh, I'm sorry for jumping to the gun, man.
Yeah, that's the thing with a lot of AO games, is that they're... First off, there's like only 25, I think, officially rated AO games.
I just call them jack-off games.
Second, they're only on PC.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right. PC is the superior platform.
I think there's even more, like, if you were to do like the Japanese equivalent to AO, which I think is 18+.
Huh. Peggy.
Or is it? No, not Peggy.
Oh, they use Sero.
Sero is Japan. I think it would be Sero D.
Huh.
Okay. Because
Sero
it goes Sero.
douchebag.
A is E, B is teen, C is M. I think D is AO.
Well, clearly we need to make it easier because parents are so fucking retarded that they can't comprehend what a simple letter indicates. Nor are they even capable of flipping the box around to read if it has violence, drugs, alcohol usage, nudity. But no. But the moment that little Timmy, who's playing Call of Duty, his school gets shot up, the parents blame the video game industry for causing this shit.
Despite the fact that little Timmy might have been fucked up already.
Exactly. Just remember, guys, the mother trained her son how to use assault rifles.
Yep.
You can't tell me a video game gives you that kind of hands-on experience. As all I'm saying is the fingers are being pointed in the wrong direction, as they usually are, because society is just filled with a bunch of morons that need a scapegoat for every problem. No one takes responsibility. If anything, they pass the blame onto somebody else and make it someone else's problem, and society suffers as a whole. I am perfectly sound, and my mind is okay. I don't have mental issues. So why should I be penalized because some asshole who had mental issues, who no one took care of, shoots up a school, and then just because he happened to play video games, now my rights are being taken away. Now I'm forced to adhere to new standards because we need to dumb down society and say, hey, you can't be playing this because we need to protect you. Go fuck yourself.
And here's the thing, is that video games are not the perfect training tool when it comes to shooting guns anyway.
Yeah, play paintball or airsoft. Those are better training tools.
The thing is, I think I should let anyone know that I've shot a gun before.
Same here.
Yeah, exactly. I was in Boy Scouts along with John. I got all 3 range merit badges. So
I only got 1.
I've shot rifle, I've shot shotgun, and done archery. Okay.
I only did the shotgun.
Right now, shooting a real gun compared to shooting a gun in a video game are 2 separate things.
Exactly.
It's just like
it's a whole different world. It really is. It's an entirely different thing, and to say that they're one and the same and that one is the same as the other is bullshit.
Because you see, on a video game, the gun is always steady. You think about that.
Mm-hmm.
On a video game, it's easy to shoot because the gun is always steady automatically. Whereas in real life, shooting gun, it's not easy. Like, it's really difficult trying to keep a gun steady.
Oh yeah, and if you don't keep the back of the shotgun against your shoulder, you get one big ass welt.
Oh.
I did that mistake my first time, and I had one big ass black and blue on my shoulder.
Plus, you need the right upper body strength.
Oh yeah, you do. But
shotgun.
Again, I didn't have it pressed against my skin, so it smacked my shoulder. It was like a giant punch in the shoulder.
Yeah.
That hurt.
Remember in summer camp when we did the shotgun shooting, one of the kids in our Boy Scout troop decided to go up for it, and he didn't really have the upper body strength. First time he shot a shotgun, he literally fell. He flew backwards.
Yeah, because he was like a midget.
Yeah.
It was a midget with a shotty. He busted his
like
ass with it.
That sounds like the sequel to Hobo with a
No,
Shotgun.
I've done, what is it, rifle shooting, shotgun shooting. I've done sniper rifle shooting. I've done handgun.
I've never done handgun. How is that different?
It's pretty different. What else? I've done, black powder. Remember those when we went to that one range? And they had to put the black powder in there, and they shoved
I don't think I ever did black powder.
I've done black powder. That one's fun. It's just, you shoot once and it takes like 30 plus seconds to reload it. It just makes more noise. It's pretty cool.
Can you imagine having that in Call of Duty?
No one would use it. Oh no, but you know what? In video games, you can reload the fucker in a second.
Yeah.
Which is not humanly possible to do. Because the thing is, you have to measure the gunpowder. You have to measure like all that shit, and then you have to shove the ball in the pack. I forget what it's called. It's like this little like rag like thing that goes between the black powder and the shot, like the ball. And you have to shove the stick in there, like if it's fucking. And then once you pack it in there you go. And it doesn't always fire every time, so it's a pain. No, I guarantee like half the people who play Call of Duty probably couldn't aim a real gun.
No.
I could probably guarantee that.
It's a completely different thing. It's it's completely different. It really is.
But I mean, this is a bigger issue, and unfortunately, it's starting to become more political than anything. Like, and it's something that I don't want really on this podcast. This is not a political show.
No.
Kevin and I have pretty similar views upon politics, but I'm pretty sure a vast majority of my listeners wouldn't appreciate what we would have to say.
Yeah.
And that's part of the problem.
And that's why we're never going to get into politics on this show.
Exactly. I mean, and that's what I hate, is that unfortunately we have to kind of cover the political part of it. But, I think what we're going to end up doing with what we're going to say later on in the show, we're going to keep it as neutral as possible. We're not going to say, okay, one party is better than the other. But let's just flat out say that everything that's been pitched thus far since the Sandy Hook disaster, or not disaster, tragedy, has been bad. Restricting your rights as an American citizen and trying to give the government more control than it's supposed to have. Now, mind you, the Video Game Ratings Enforcement Act, back in 2011, one of the states tried to push it. It wasn't the same name. It was just something.
It was California who tried pushing it.
Yeah, California. And they're communist motherfuckers.
And it was deemed unconstitutional by the Supreme Court. And they deemed that video games were protected under the First Amendment.
Exactly. And that's what I'm saying, is that hopefully this shit doesn't get passed because, if anything, they're restricting an art form.
Well, like I said about the House bill, that's something that's like it has no other sponsors other than this one guy, the guy who came up with it, and because of that, it's gonna die in committee.
Hopefully. I mean, as I'm saying, I'm shocked with anything these days because again, we're not getting into politics, but there's a lot of surprising things that have passed that I thought weren't gonna pass. So I wouldn't be surprised if enough morons got together and approved this shit. But hey, as I'm saying, as a gamer and as an American citizen, I'm gonna fight it at all costs. I'm gonna be the one that will create petitions. I'm gonna be very verbal about it because I'm not gonna sit by and allow retards to make new laws that should never even come into an existence. The thing is that the issue is a mental problem. It has nothing to do with video games. It has nothing to do with gun laws. I mean, we covered this last week. We said, hey, look, even if guns didn't exist, if you still have a fucked up person, he's going to find some way to kill people. And you explained that back in the 20s, a guy blew up a fucking school.
Yeah.
And you said he never fired a single shot.
He only fired one shot, but it was only to detonate dynamite that was in the back of his truck.
Exactly. So You
And
know, what are we
even
gonna do? We're
even
gonna ban
if he didn't,
explosives too. We're gonna ban fireworks.
and even then, even if he didn't have a gun, he would have found another way. He would have, lit a match or something like that.
Exactly. I mean, he could have burned down a school. He could have brought a knife and stabbed
Yeah.
people. I mean, well, he could have taken a fucking chair and smashed people in the head. What I'm trying to say is that, you're not solving the problem. You
No.
know, there was a lot of warning signs. A lot of people who knew this guy said that he had problems, that he was going to get treated, and that's what ultimately made him snap.
Well, the mother was trying to get treatment for him, but no one in the
Look,
town would
she
help
dug
her.
her own fucking hole.
Yeah.
You trained the asshole on how to shoot assault rifles,
Well, when did she
shotguns.
like, was it?
She took him out hunting all the time, and then because, it was like they were bonding in her mind,
Yeah.
that she decided to keep it going. Look, if I have a deranged kid, I'm not going to train him on how to use a gun. It was her
Yeah,
fault, ultimately,
that's-
at that point. You trained, and you carried these fucking weapons. What do you need assault rifles and all this shit? Hey, look, I'm not against having a gun. Like, I believe everyone should have the right to carry a gun in their house. But you don't need a fucking arsenal in your house.
You don't need an AK-47.
Is that what she had?
I'm not sure. I'm just saying, like, you don't need an assault rifle.
You don't need it. I mean, look, as I
don't-
said, you could have one gun in your house. I'm okay with it. I don't care if it's a rifle. I don't care if it's a shotgun. I don't care if it's a pistol. But you're not using, armor-piercing bullets. You're not using, a fucking rocket launcher. But what I'm trying to say is there's no reason for you to have more than like 2 guns.
Yeah.
But clearly this lady had a bunch. And on top of that, she trained them. So I blame her. But now getting back to this, the stupid bitch, Diane Franklin, wants to create a sales tax. Now, explain to me what a sales tax will do to counter the sale of violent video games. Do you realize that people buy their shit secondhand on Amazon or
Yeah.
on eBay, or people buy it on Craigslist? Do you think if people really wanted their games, they'll find other ways to obtain it without paying this silly, stupid, retarded tax?
I'm curious. Does Amazon, do they count sales tax?
No.
Okay. Yeah.
Like, Amazon's gonna, fucking do this.
Yeah.
I just don't understand, like, what the fuck a tax would do. And one person,
It's not gonna do anything.
well, Alpha Omega Sin, this is like the first video in a long time that I actually bothered watching. Because I have to say, he's been going over the top, and he's really, like, catered to the fact of his popularity. He's gone downhill. Forcing his material constantly. He did bring up very valid points. He said, look, basically this tax is only to get people rich. It's people benefiting off of a tragedy.
Well, here's a question.
That's really what it is.
Okay.
What other point would you have on charging a tax?
Then making money.
Exactly.
That's the whole point of it.
That's exactly
Well,
what he
here's the
said.
question. If the whole point of taxing cigarettes was to stop people from smoking, wouldn't they have just banned it already?
Exactly. I mean,
No,
well, look,
it's-
having a person who smoked, I
Yeah.
mean, my grandfather, he's...
Oh shit! I forgot about that.
Yeah, I mean, well, he died a year ago. He smoked like a chimney. He lived in an apartment. But what he would do to counter that, he would drive into, like, the middle of Pennsylvania, in Indian Village, and he would buy cartons of fucking cigarettes. Just to avoid the extra taxes that they put on there in New Jersey and New York. Those taxes never curbed his smoking.
No.
And all it does is just add extra income to the government. There's absolutely no, evidence of it actually stopping
The whole
people from
point,
smoking.
when you tax something like video games or smoking, you're not. People aren't going to just stop smoking, and the point of it isn't to stop from smoking. The point of it is to make money off of people who are doing it.
Exactly.
That's the whole point. You know, it's not about trying to make people stop playing violent video games. The whole point is to make money off of it. So in other words, they're making money off of a tragedy,
Exactly. That's what I
which
said.
is to me probably I don't know how to describe it. I'm not sure if it would be considered a dick move or more of a douche move.
It is, but what the thing is, they're hiding it and saying that they're doing it for our protection. But you have
Yeah,
a
that
bunch of
makes it even
morons that are not
worse.
realizing that this money is going to a few people.
Yeah.
You know, it's just to make more money. That's all it is.
Oh, and I love her reasoning. Oh, but we could use it to fund police and to fund
Police.
mental health programs.
Yeah, we already pay for fucking mental health programs.
Exactly.
So why should video games fund this shit?
I love it when they always say, "Oh, we can use it to pay for something." Yeah, the New Jersey Turnpike, originally there was the whole point of a toll on it was to pay for the turnpike. Guess what? The turnpike finished 40 years ago, and yet there's still a toll on it.
Exactly. Or look at
So,
the fucking prices to go to New York, $13.
yeah.
That's bullshit. And they keep raising it. And why? Because they're funding the fucking World Trade Center rebuilding or the reconstruction with toll money.
Folks, whenever a elected official says that they want to put in a tax or a toll, and they say, "Oh, but it's to fund this," don't buy it.
Yeah, it's
Don't
bullshit.
believe it. Don't buy it. It's bullshit.
Exactly. All right, now let's get off this topic
Yeah.
because
Okay.
it's quickly becoming like something else. But now all we have to say, and we say it time and time again, look, fight it. If there are these little rules and acts and stuff that they're trying to pass, fight it. You know, as gamers, we need put our differences aside and fight this because we can't afford to have this crap. Because we all know clearly that video games do not create violence. You know, they do not cause people to kill people. And our government needs to stop meddling with this shit. You know, if anything, other countries are progressing while we're taking big, giant steps backwards. Look at Australia, which is our next topic.
Yeah. Actually, I was going to say before we go off to the next topic.
Hey, I created an awesome segue, and you had to interrupt it.
Look at the history of the comic industry.
Okay.
Okay, look up a guy named Frederick. I think it was Dr. Frederick Wertham. Okay, and look up all the shit that he did to the comic book industry.
He's basically the Joe Lieberman and Jack Thompson.
Okay. If we aren't careful, if we're not vigilant, that shit can happen to us. Okay?
Or for people who don't know, can you explain what happened?
Okay. In the 1950s, a professor by the name of Frederick Wertham wrote a book called Seduction of the Innocent, where he posited that the juvenile delinquency problem of that time could be blamed on comic books, and that that Batman and Robin were sending children subliminal messages about homosexuality, and that Wonder Woman was sending subliminal images about bondage. Okay, and he freaked the entire nation out. There was a whole hearing on it, and the government formed the Comics Code Authority, which was so strict that for I think it was like almost 30 years, comics could not say the word zombie. Okay, and
if anything, this guy should have been thrown in a fucking mental institution.
yeah, and what else was? Oh yeah, and but it did and almost destroyed the business of what's his name, Ed Gaines. He was the head of EC Comics, who did a lot of. They didn't really do superhero stuff. They did like horror comics and pirate comics and all that kind of stuff. They did Tales from the Crypt.
Huh.
His entire business was just almost destroyed, except he was able to salvage one of his comics, which he turned into a magazine. That magazine was Mad.
Ha.
Yeah.
Yep. So what history has shown is that our government are run by a bunch of morons who can't manage shit.
It's that is that new mediums scares people.
I
It
don't
can't
understand
scare.
why it
Can
does. I mean,
scare
look, we're a
because
very
it's something
technically
new.
advanced society.
Because it's something new and they don't understand it. Because you have an older generation that's new to video games.
No, the
They
older
don't understand.
generation shouldn't be running this fucking country. Look, when you're 90
Exactly.
fucking years old, you shouldn't be in a seat of power at all.
If you don't want the guy, vote him out.
Well, that's the problem is that
We have to
we have
do
a
it.
bunch of assholes in this country who don't do it.
Though this is why I believe we should have term limits on senators, but that's another story.
Yeah, as I said, I don't think you should vote a fucking 90-year-old guy.
Yeah. But anyway, we're getting way off topic. I just wanted to bring that up. So, anyway, you were talking about Valve?
I wasn't talking about Valve. I was talking about Australia.
Okay.
You screwed
fine,
up my segue.
Okay, sorry. How much do I have to pay for that segue?
Huh?
How much do I have to pay for that segue?
Oh, I'm gonna hit you.
Because you know how expensive those things are.
Oh yeah. The owner drove off a cliff with one. Yeah. Australia takes one leap forward while our dumbass country takes one giant step backwards. Australia finally has an 18 rating for video games.
Yay! Congratulations, Australia. You finally grew a pair.
And while we're losing our pair, apparently. So Valve is resubmitting Left 4 Dead 2, which, if some of you guys don't remember, Left 4 Dead 2 was forced to remove blood, as well as, I believe, the limbs being chopped off from their version of it. So Australia justified version.
And believe me, Left 4 Dead 2 was lucky. Mortal Kombat was completely banned in the country.
Ooh, you guys will finally get to play with something we've been playing with for like 20 years.
No, not the first Mortal Kombat. The new one.
What's the new one?
The Mortal Kombat 9.
I didn't even know they existed.
It came out like last year for the PS3 and 360.
I clearly don't care because I didn't know.
Okay, yeah, they came out with a new one. So, and that was gonna go up for the ratings board over there, but they banned it.
Huh.
So they refused it in the country. So now they might, hopefully they'll resubmit it.
That's good.
So, but yeah, congratulations, guys! You finally have a mature rating, something we've had in this country for I don't know,
Since the mid-90s.
yeah, since Mortal Kombat 3 at least.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Alright.
very interesting stuff.
And now we have something else. You said you want to talk about Sony?
Yep. There's a new rumor that Sony's the controller for the next PlayStation will not be a DualShock.
Wow.
Yeah, they're officially retiring the DualShock.
Yeah, they've been using the same controller design for so long.
Yep.
Which, I mean, it's a positive as well as a negative. I mean, yeah, it evolved a little bit over time. But, you know, I mean, it got stale. But it also was familiar. So, I mean, if you jump generations, the controls were very, very similar to you.
But here's where things get interesting.
Okay.
Apparently, the source who's claiming all this is saying that that there are several versions of this new controller. One with some that include biometric sensors on the grips, and of course an LCD touchscreen.
But Sony came up with it first because, you know, Sony's been designing this for like 20 years and now they finally decided to come out with it. So Nintendo didn't, you know, Nintendo copied Sony. Watch. I guarantee it, you're going to have like 80 videos of dumbasses who say that.
Because Sony released the Vita, and if you can do crossplay with, so that acts like a controller.
I swear to God. Sony is notorious for copying Nintendo.
God.
The history
Yeah.
goes as far back as the Super Nintendo and Nintendo 64.
Yeah, I mean,
Remind you, the original PlayStation controller did not have analog sticks, nor
Yep.
did it have rumble. You know,
Yeah.
as soon as the Nintendo 64 comes out, Sony comes out with the dual analog.
Even then, if you
as
look at the old PS1 controller, it looks like a Super Nintendo controller with handles on it.
exactly, which is
And
why I said
it's
it's Super Nintendo, Nintendo 64. And as
yeah,
soon as Nintendo comes out with the rumble pack, Sony introduced the original DualShock.
yeah.
And
And not
then,
not just the rumble pack, but the analog stick as well.
I already said that. I said the dual analog.
Oh, okay. Dual. I thought you said the rumble as well. So
I
okay.
did. I said
I'm
that
sorry.
afterwards.
I got
Um,
screwed up.
so the thing is that Sony is notorious for copying
Yeah.
Nintendo's controller designs. I mean, look at the motion, the
Move.
PlayStation Move. It's exactly the same
It
fucking thing
looks-
as
But not just in
huh?
not just in controllers, but also in like games. I mean, did you see? You ever see the fight?
No.
It looked like like if someone did a spoof of Wii Sports boxing, but done as a hardcore version.
Oh, yeah. I've seen that one.
It looked like Wii Sports boxing, just hardcore.
Now, I'll give you what Sony manages to do. Right? They take every idea that Nintendo has and makes it more expensive.
Oh yeah, and then there's sports champions.
Yeah, that one was a knockoff of Wii Sports.
Yeah.
I played it. I actually sold the move right. I think it was right before news came out that it was pretty much a failure. I sold it, and I think I only lost $10 off of what I paid for it. But then after that, the price just hit rock bottom. I was like, yes, I unloaded that shit before it was worthless. Look, the PlayStation Move it felt like a Nintendo experience, but again, it was more expensive. The controller cost more. It required a camera. It also, a lot of games required 2 Move controllers per player. So you're spending a lot of fucking money just to play games. But yeah, I mean, watch, Sony's gonna get praise for having a fucking screen on its controller, whereas everyone's like, oh, Nintendo is stupid for doing it.
Why would I want to have a tablet? I already have a tablet.
It's not hardcore. And then
It's
the
not
second Sony comes out with it, guys, it's hardcore. I mean, there is bias. Don't get me wrong, and that's why we say what we say on this podcast. Sony does get away with murder, as well as Microsoft.
We say these things and we complain about Sony because we actually kind of care about Sony.
Well, we do, but we also care that there's a lot of dumbasses who get their facts wrong. Black Bond said it, best. He said, Nintendo creates, Sony takes.
Yeah.
That's how it is. Nintendo is one of the most innovative companies out there. And you can't argue that point.
Yeah. Nah, I mean, yeah. I mean, just look at the Wii U. I mean, just the tablet itself is extremely innovative.
It is. I like using it.
I love the tablet. Yeah.
It's pretty cool. I just wish the battery lasted a little longer.
Actually, there are replacement batteries you can buy.
I just want one that's internal. I don't want some external.
No, actually, they do make replacement internal batteries.
Ooh.
So,
I'll have to get one.
yeah, I have to look into those.
I definitely have to will. Let's see. What other stuff? Yes, so this new Sony controller, look, biometrics, it's going to cost money. They're basically taking the Wii Vitality sensor and putting it on the controller.
Yeah.
Then they're adding a screen, so that's 2 ideas that they're stealing from Nintendo. Wonderful.
Ain't that lovely?
Yep. Let's see. Sony to sell its U.S. headquarters.
Yes, I heard about this. Honestly, I think Sony's in a lot more trouble than we think they are.
Of course they are.
I think that
their television division's been in the red for 7 years, or more than that.
Wait, that long?
Yeah.
Shit, I
The
didn't even. I
reason
didn't
why is
realize it was that.
because a lot of TVs are made in China, right? So
Yeah.
Sony got into a price war with them, and ultimately were selling TVs at a loss.
Huh.
So Sony's new plan is to sell premium televisions, which everyone used to know that Sony used to have like the best TVs. And then
Oh,
Samsung came out and like completely demolished Sony. Because right now, I believe Samsung has the better displays. Which last year they showed off the first OLED consumer like product.
really?
Yep.
Cool.
So let's see. I'm about out of ideas, and
Yeah.
part of that is because I have the flu,
Yeah.
which sucks.
That's why we're not doing this together.
That sounds very wrong. And
We're
gay.
not. Shut up. That's why we're not in the same room.
um,
So that's why we're doing this over Skype.
hell yeah. Which hey, the quality is much better than last week.
Yeah. The podcast, like what we were talking about last week, was great, but the audio quality was shit, and I apologize to any and everyone about that. It's just it was the like I said, the fan on my tablet started kicking in.
Yeah, I didn't think using Audacity would like kill it. Like that didn't make sense to me why it was going crazy.
Yeah.
I did get my Sony Vaio Duo.
And how's that?
That thing is sexy. I was
Nice.
playing League of Legends on it.
Of course you were.
Of course I was, yes. I played Hydro Thunder Hurricane on it, you know, the Pinball FX2. Runs flawlessly on it.
Cool.
The best part is like it has that slider on it. So
Yep.
you just lift up the screen and it slides up and then it has a keyboard. So it's pretty cool. It's a very lightweight. I mean, your tablet's lighter than mine. Your tablet's also thinner. But
And it also doesn't have a keyboard on it.
yeah, it doesn't have a HDMI or a full-size Ethernet port or an i7 or 256 gig solid state or two USB 3.0s
Okay, I get the picture.
or high definition webcams
Okay.
or a
Okay.
1080p screen
You're gonna go on and on, aren't you?
or 8 gigs of memory.
You always do this. Oh my
Just
god.
say it. I'm better.
Never!
So I'm gonna have to wrap it up, guys. I know this might not have been one of the better episodes, but I mean, I'm
It's
just
the
like
best that we could do, you know?
I'm like zoning out half the time.
So, John, what games are you playing?
Um, I don't know.
Well, I've been playing The Walking Dead recently.
Oh yeah, everyone's saying that's good, is it?
It's really good. It's, right now I'm on episode 4.
Is it just a fucking point and click adventure?
Yeah, it's a point-and-click adventure, but
I hate those.
But no, here's the thing though, it's not boring. I know some point-and-click adventures can be very boring, but
hey, we
just,
grew up with point and click.
Yeah.
Trust me, I hated it back then, and I hate it now.
I would think you would like this because you have to make a lot of hard decisions, like
Kill the bitch.
as to who's going to live or die, and in some cases you do have to shoot at zombies. So believe me, there are zombie shootings in here. Yeah, but it's extremely well done, extremely well written, and I highly suggest. Guys, I highly suggest you all play it.
Cool.
If I was to do like a game of the year kind of thing, if we were to do that, this would be my game of the year.
Wow.
Yeah.
It would definitely not make my list.
No. Well, what would be your game of the year?
League of Legends.
Fuck you.
I
knew you were gonna say that. I fucking
my
knew.
game of the year. Shit. Like, probably Gravity Days.
Okay, yeah, that was actually pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. I
It,
keep saying Gravity Days because I have the Jap version.
if I hadn't played The Walking Dead, my game of the year would have been Xenoblade Chronicles.
I forgot that shit came out this year.
Yeah, that
Well,
game
now
is
you.
really
Oh yeah, that's right. We almost forgot. What was it? Pandora's Tower is coming out.
yes.
And let me guess, you bought that too.
There's a pre-order has not been announced, but as soon as it is, I'm pre-ordering that son of a bitch.
Huh.
Um, yeah, I'm a huge supporter of Operation Rainfall. I do have Xenoblade
Rain
Chronicles and
fail. Okay.
what?
Rain fail.
It's not a fail because they won.
I know they won, but I don't care about any of those 3 games.
I know you don't care, but I care. So
Okay, and that's good for you.
yeah,
You could tell, like I'm like wacky as
yeah,
shit.
yeah.
That's because I'm drugged up on Advil, antibiotics,
You're taking the good shit.
and a bit of whiskey.
Nice.
Yeah, it's
Nice.
basically a time bomb that will kill me. But
Which I that there are several people on YouTube who would love that.
oh yeah, I'm pretty. Actually, you know what? I have never gotten a death threat.
Really?
Surprisingly, you know,
That's
I've been on
I'm
YouTube
actually
for
kind of
4
surprised.
years. Never once got a death threat.
I would think that there would be some extreme Sony fanboys that would like send you a death threat or something like that.
No, surprisingly not. No, never had one.
That's that's very surprising and very good at the same time.
That means we have hope for society,
Yeah.
and I'm not a target of somebody.
Yeah.
uh, so yeah, we are going to Comic-Con next year.
Yeah.
Kevin's going to CES next year.
Yes.
He's gonna get his CES cherry popped.
Oh my god, I can't believe you said that.
What?
It's just oh my god.
So is Chris. He's getting his popped too.
My god.
I got mine popped last year. No, I heard that from Leo Laporte, the Twit shows.
Wait, Leo Port said that?
Oh yeah, they
Oh
did
my
this.
God.
Mind you, they were also drunk.
Okay, yeah, that makes a lot more sense.
It's like your father when he's 3 glasses of.
Oh my god.
So yeah, they were talking about who has or had not yet had their CES cherry popped. So Kevin's gonna be he's gonna be no longer a virgin.
We also might. I was discussing this with John.
Dude,
we
you could
might-
join the Mile High Club too. That'll be your first time in a plane. You might as well make it memorable.
You
Some of the flight stewardess are pretty hot. You know, I mean, the last one I went on were just a bunch of old hags, but sometimes you get some gorgeous girls there new. You know,
That's cool.
you got to show them what flying's all about.
You gotta show him your joystick.
Now, that sounds really stupid. Just show them your dick.
I just love how you just went right out and just said that.
Why not? I mean, the thing is like, look, I hate look, flying is not too bad. It's just the stupid shit you have to deal with. Now, you've never dealt with TSA before.
No, I've never been on a plane before.
Exactly. So you never dealt with TSA. It is like the most retarded experience you'll ever have to go through. You have to gut your backpack or whatever you're bringing on as a carry-on. You have to put them in all these fucking bins. You have to take off your shoes. You get to keep your socks on. You have to take off all of your, like your belt. You have to take off all your jewelry. You have to take off pretty much to the point where you have pants, underwear, and a shirt. Now, nowadays, they make you go through those nude scanners. Back in the day, you used to just go through a metal detector. If you beeped, they would, go to the side and figure out. But nowadays, they want to grope the shit out of you. Then you all have to fight and find space after going through security to put back on your shoes, put back on your belt, put all your shit back into your backpack. So if you pack heavy, you're fucked because it's going to take you a while. Let's see. Yeah. So you're not allowed to bring any liquids. So even if it's like a hot coffee that you just bought at a fucking Dunkin' Donuts that's right next to the TSA security checkpoint, they will force you to drink that shit and throw it out before going through security. Which is bullshit. And if anyone wants to say that's for our safety, put the fucking cup through an x-ray machine and then force the person to drink half of it to prove that it's not poison.
Well, they're also thinking that you could splash it in someone's face and hijack a plane.
By the time you get on the fucking plane, it'll be cold. They serve coffee on the fucking plane.
Good point.
Damn. I'm telling you guys, I hate being sick. So yeah, so you take off, everything's good. Now here's the other issue, right? Before you go to take off, you must put all your electronic devices away. You gotta turn them all off. If it has an off switch, turn it off. If it has an eye in it, you have to turn it off.
I don't get that.
Right? So they tell you all this. Meanwhile, the fucking plane has Wi-Fi on it. Right?
Okay, wait. What's the whole point of shutting off your phones and electronics?
I tried to dissect this when I was there. I was trying to come up with valid reasons why they would have you do it, right? I thought of, okay, what if they just want everyone's attention prior to taking off because the TSA requires them to go through this. Oh, you have to, if the mask drops from the ceiling, you have to do this. If the plane crashes, you have to go to those emergency exits. Your seat has a flotation device under it, you know, and all this shit. I figured, okay, well, maybe they just want everyone's attention. But then, the thing is, they don't make you, like, if you have headphones on, they don't make you take it off, but they ask you if the device it's connected to is turned off. They let you read, like, magazines and papers, so it can't be that they want you to stow shit away for takeoff. So I'm trying to understand, like, what logical reason would they have? You know, and the thing is, you know, if you're going to come up with the excuse that an electronic device would interfere with your plane, they wouldn't let you bring those things on board in the first place. TSA would, you know, steal your DS or whatever and say, no, you can't bring that on the plane. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, a plane is not going to have interference, because that's why we have the FCC. The FCC, you know, tests all these devices to make sure that they don't emit, you know, interference. So a plane is not going to be taken down by a fucking cell phone. And if you're going to make that argument, they have something called GoGo, which is a new, like, cell phone to, like, it's a cell tower service for planes where they basically aim cell towers in the sky. They basically point them straight up, so the plane receives a cell signal, which then works with the Wi-Fi router that's on the plane. Then you pay an outrageous, like, $10 per hour to use the internet.
Really?
You know, and that's that kind of thing where it's like, okay, well, if you're going to tell me that my fucking, you know, iPod, which doesn't transmit a radio frequency, is going to, you know, prevent this plane from taking off successfully, then why the fuck do you have cell towers shooting straight in the sky? Or better yet, why do you have a fucking wireless router on the plane? You know, so I don't understand it. Like, it's just a stupid superstition that, you know, gives these stupid old-ass flight attendants a reason to yell at you and treat you like if you're a fucking slave on a ship. You know, they yell at you. They tell you, is it off? Take it out of your ear. Like, oh yeah, I didn't know that I couldn't put my fucking headphones in my ears. I mean, you put fucking headphone ports on the chair. Like, they used to give you music, now they don't.
I think the reason why they do it is of, again, to not get into politics or anything like that, I think it's because of 9/11 and such. Because they don't want anyone contacting other people just in case.
No, I think that rule's been in effect prior.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because they let you play with them after. After takeoff, they say you could use it. Which is stupid. I don't.
So okay, so this is during takeoff.
Takeoff and landing.
Oh, okay.
Which, again, I can't comprehend why they do it. Like, it's one of those superstitions where people think that it's going to interfere with your flight. It's not. You know, and I think it's retarded, and I hate being annoyed. You know what I mean? It's just when I go on a plane, I just want to be left alone. I want to get my drink that I paid $400 for. I don't get any free food like you used to. It used to be part of the package deal. Now they don't. They charge you separately for it. I have to deal with assholes trying to sell me a credit card while I'm on the fucking plane. You know, it's just like flying is just no longer a convenience. You know what I mean? And, you know, you pay enough for it just to be bombarded with fucking ads and shit. And it's just like, enough is enough. You know what I mean?
Well, that's why I would say it'd be much more better to take a train.
No, fuck a train. Why am I going to wait several days to take a train over to Las Vegas? Then it takes 5 hours.
Because you don't have to worry about them
Kevin, do you realize how fast the plane is? I'm serious.
They don't.
It takes less time to fly to Las Vegas than it does to drive from New Jersey to Virginia. As I'm saying, it doesn't. It takes 36 hours to drive to Vegas. But as I said, a train.
I'm saying, like, you don't have to deal with all the bullshit.
But for me, it's like I don't like traveling. I don't. Yeah. So for me, it's like the quickest way I can get there, the better. So it's kind of that. It's like that
convenience.
Huh? I know. No, it's a balance though. You know, air travel. Like when I'm on the plane, I'm usually like I'm no longer stressed. It's like the whole getting to the plane part annoys the shit out of me. But like when you're on the plane and everything, it takes off. You're kind of relaxed. You're put in these very small fucking seats. Which look, I'm not fat or anything, but I have very long legs, so my knees are constantly being bashed into the fucking seat in front of me. You know, I'm 6'1", you know, and I'm mostly legs. But it's such bullshit flying these days. I really hate it.
Okay.
But you're going to have your air fucking cherry popped, as well as your Vegas cherry popped, as well as your CES cherry popped.
Oh my God.
We're going to buy you a hooker, so that's going to be good, too. You're going to get shit-faced on the trip as well. Chris will make sure of that. You know, give you a few LITs and you're done.
Oh God.
You're gonna gamble for your very first time, man, and you're gonna lose like $50 and then give up.
No, I know I've gambled before.
You have?
Yes.
Atlantic City?
Yeah.
Okay. That's not real gambling, man. It's not real until you go to Vegas. Vegas is the gambling capital of the country. It is. When you have these old-ass ladies with breast implants coming around trying to sell you cigarettes and beer while you're playing the penny slots, that's the authentic Vegas. You don't get that shit in New Jersey because we don't. You're not allowed to smoke in them in New Jersey.
We're going to Vegas. Hey, maybe we can stop by the Insert Coins.
Oh yeah, Insert Coins. I went there.
Oh, you did? How was that?
It was excellent, man.
Dude, we gotta go there.
It was cool. I did go to the Pinball Museum, which was my favorite.
Lucky bastard.
Oh, pinball machine. Oh yeah, Kevin was pissed because I call him on Skype and I just turn on the camera and he just sees me playing pinball machines. He's like, you fucker. That was like my favorite part of the whole trip. Was
and it wasn't just pinball machines; it was arcade machines as well.
Oh, there was a few. It was 95% pinball machines.
But I saw from what you showed me, there was like they had the original Space Invaders, they had Donkey Kong, they had Pac-Man.
Yep.
And I'm like, just fuck you.
Yep. But yeah, it's definitely a cool thing they have. What do you call it? They have over 100 and something pinball machines like in the room, and then they have several thousand in storage.
Cool.
You know, so they're constantly swapping out machines and stuff. And
yeah.
They donate to the Salvation Army.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, very nice. Very nice.
You have to pay to get in, or is it free?
It's free to get in. You pay per machine, so like it ranges from 25 cents to 75 cents.
That's fine.
Oh yeah, and a lot of them they modify so you have 5 balls and stuff, or they're very generous with the multi games. So you'll have one where okay, it's 75 cents, but if you put in an extra quarter, you get 2 extra games. So you get 3 for $1.
Shit.
That's awesome. You know, and if the machine ever gets stuck, which that was the fun part, was like, okay, my ball got stuck and everything, and for them to just pull out coins, I haven't had that experience in a very long time. Now, Kevin, you and I can remember, you know, when you're playing a machine and the machine ate your quarters, you go to the attendant and the attendant just gave you your money back.
Yeah.
You know, most kids these days don't have any clue about that kind of process.
Of course
You
not,
know.
because the arcades have been dead for like 15, 20 years.
Oh, but I felt like it was back in the 90s when I was in there. I felt like an old a little kid again, you know? Because I remember me and my father, we used to do it. We used to go to like Sports World. We used to go to various arcades, and we would spend, you know, like 2 or 3 hours in there just playing games. And like it was just amazing being able to have that same experience again. You know, it's something that unfortunately will never be the same. But it was great being able to play like all the pinball machines I play on Pinball Arcade for the iPad and stuff. It was amazing being able to finally play the real deal. And I'm telling you guys, the real pinball machine plays completely different from the virtual. You know, the physics, they still haven't gotten the physics right in these video games. They haven't gotten the ball speed, you know, and all that stuff right.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's harder. It really is. And I remember a lot of arcades, what they would be like douchebags, they would elevate it so the table was at a more incline, so the ball rolled faster.
That's bullshit.
Oh, yeah, but they used to do that. That used to be good times.
Oh, and now that I remember one of the boards you showed me was the Super.
Yep, both of them. They had
Pinball.
two. They had the small one and the bigger one.
Damn you, John.
Yeah, I got to play Creature from the Black Lagoon. I got to play Medieval Madness. I got to play Batman, Jurassic Park, Funhouse, Whirlwind, Whitewater, the Addams Family Pinball. Let's see.
Oh, dude, Addams
Theater of
Family.
Magic. Trying to remember. There was so many of them.
Indiana Jones one?
Yeah, I played the Indiana Jones one as well. They had two of them. They had the fucking Stern pinball version, which has like segments from all four movies. That's the new one they came out with. But then they have the original one, which I think came out in the 90s.
Okay, so they have the original, which doesn't recognize the supposed fourth movie.
Yes, which is the better
exist.
version. Oh no, it's far superior in every way, the original pinball version of it. Like the new one was just like cheesy. Like there was nothing really there, nothing to do. Whereas the original had so many more ramps, had tilt things, had like the ball lock, which was this giant like statue that rotated. So it was a lot more fun. I'm trying to remember all the other ones I played. There were so many. I spent $40 playing pinball. It was like 5 miles from the hotel I was staying at. We walked it. That's
You're
right.
tearing me apart, John.
Why? Because I'm annoying the shit out of you, or you're
Yeah,
just
I
jelly?
want to see this stuff.
You're jelly, huh? Hey,
Yeah.
as I said, you save up, you pay your share of the trip. You're going on it next year.
Yeah, I know.
You're
I'm
gonna have
definitely go
like
there.
so many firsts for you. It's like you're a virgin and you're about to get
my
your
God,
cherry
here we
popped.
go again with the friggin' virgin metaphor.
Yeah, you are virgin. You know how they have Virgin Atlantic like airplanes? We should go on there. You know, it's for virgins. And you're gonna have a very good time. I mean, look, I've been there 2 years now, so I know the area very well. You know, I'm already starting to make the plans. In like 3 or 4 weeks, we could actually place the travel trip. The earlier you plan it out, the cheaper it is.
Really?
Yes. So you could get first class tickets for like $100 more than what I paid for my trip. So it's one of those things where you get treated like royalty when you have first class. And I plan on going first class this upcoming time.
Okay.
So, save your money. Don't buy stupid shit. Upcoming games I'll be playing is Dead Space 3, which I'm not looking forward to because it's got co-op and all that bullshit.
It looks like Gears of Dead Space.
Gears of Dead Space is right. The original one was so much better. I'm also looking forward to, well, unfortunately, they delayed it. What was it, Pikmin 3? They delayed that shit.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I mean, I want that game badly. What else? What other games? Anything? Oh, Ni no Kuni is coming out.
Yes. Oh yeah. I was thinking about getting the special edition.
They sold out.
They did?
Yeah.
Ah, shit.
Yeah, you got fucked, man. Now you don't get the book and the little stuffed animal that you want to cuddle with.
Wait, when did they sold out?
They sold out like months ago, man.
Really? That's
Yeah.
why I haven't been able? Fuck.
Yeah, you're fucked, man.
Oh, well, I'm gonna have to just get the regular version.
Dude, you could have gotten your cherry popped, but no, you got fucked.
Okay. Stop it with the,
Alright, let's say Ni no Kuni. Okay, let's say if we go to the page, they already have reviews out. Alright. Pre-order. You can, if you order it from EB Games, you get a exclusive steelbook case. Motherfuckers.
Yeah, it's sold out. Fuck.
Yep.
Ah, man.
Motherfucker.
Might have to get... I'm just gonna have to get the regular version then.
Yep, you're fucked.
Shit, I was really looking forward to that.
That's because you want the drippy plush doll.
No, I just like... I like special editions.
That you never open, and then you say you're going to sell it, but then you never do. Like your, what is it? You have the, what's the PlayStation game that you have? That you won't
Uncharted
sell?
3.
No, PlayStation.
PlayStation.
The one that comes with a necklace and all that shit?
Lunar 2 Eternal Blue?
Yes.
The game is open.
Okay, so why don't you sell it?
Because I like the game?
Because it's worth a lot of money?
Because it's a good game and I like it?
Because you end every sentence with a
Shut up. No, I'm gonna keep it because I like the game.
Really?
Yeah. Just because you don't like it doesn't mean I have to sell it.
You should sell it because, you know, you just...
Because
it's hot. Shit. Those Ni no Kuni Wrath of the King, like, Wizard editions are going for like $200+.
shit.
They're charging like 150% what it originally cost. Then someone's like, rare, pre-sold out. Look, if it's sold a good enough copy, they're gonna keep on making them. It's not like, you know, the Dead Space thing, because Dead Space, at least they said there's only gonna be 5,000 copies.
Yeah.
Like my Dead Space 3, which, the dev team bundle already is going for double of what I paid for it. Wow. I tell you, people on eBay are price gouging douchebags.
Yeah. Remember the whole Wii U thing?
Yeah, where they were charging like $1,000, and then once people
They were
realized
like
that they could
500
still...
to 1,000 Wii U, and then it bit them in the ass.
I'm glad it did.
Yeah. So anyway, should we end this?
This is actually going pretty good. I like the extra stuff we're talking about. I mean, because by this point, if people don't like what we have to say, they probably quit. Dude, you could get the you said you've never played the original Dead Space.
No.
You can get it for like dirt cheap these days.
I know, it's like $10 on Steam.
But yeah. It's a must play, you know. I mean, I know you like your horror games, so you should. Dead Space 2 is just full of fucking jump scares.
I somewhat like horror games.
You do?
Yeah. Because sometimes there are horror games that are just not horror. Yeah.
See, like, look, one thing I'm not looking forward to is with Dead Space 3 is a fucking, was that shit where they make you push buttons really fast? QuickTime events.
Yeah.
I absolutely hate them. They didn't really have them for number 1. But number 2 had a whole bunch. Constantly. Like, every 10 minutes you had a QuickTime event. What?
Well, I was gonna say, and there's some QuickTime events in The Walking Dead.
Okay.
But it's not a lot.
Nah, like QuickTime events is like so mid 2000s.
Yeah.
You know, apparently, what's the face didn't get the memo. Konami, no, Capcom. With fucking like seriously, Resident Evil 5. I played maybe 2 hours of it. Haven't played it since.
I played the prologue to Resident Evil 6 and I hated it.
Yeah, because how many QuickTime events were in there?
Oh my god.
Oh, you have to lift this rock.
That game was shit. And then I played the demo and it was even worse.
Well, the demo is different. A little bit.
Yeah, but it's...
Still shit.
Yeah.
Shit is shit no matter how much you smell it.
So yeah. Before we recorded this, I was talking to John about possibly doing questions at the end of each episode.
Really?
So yeah, we might.
This is the first time I'm hearing this.
Well, I was talking to you about it.
Really? I don't remember.
Of course, because you don't remember shit.
I is damaged.
You might. I mean, because I know every other podcast does it.
What?
They do questions at the end.
Yeah, I mean, I'm game. I don't mind. I mean,
yeah.
But how would we do it though?
We look at the people post questions in the comments and we read them.
Fine. If you guys have a question that you want Kevin or I to answer, just put at Kevin or at Jack or John, however you guys want to put it. Or both. Or you could say at both. And we'll reply to it in the next episode, which, again, we're shooting for a weekly show. We're going to try to get this show on track. Because apparently you guys like it enough where we got 1,000 views last week, which is good. I appreciate that, because I've always wanted a podcast to take off, but unfortunately, I've never really had the drive to keep it going. This is the first show I've ever had the drive, so... if I had $1 for every show we started.
Yeah.
Well, what was, like, the first one we did?
I think it was in 2008, right?
I thought it was like, yeah, it probably was.
Yeah.
Or
that's
when
we started. That's when you started Quizma.
Okay. I just forget what the show was called.
I think it was just Quizma Tech and Gaming. I think that was it.
Alright, and then we eventually had Round the Table with the Jock Techs. Then Andy came and said the table. Then it transitioned to Player's Choice Podcast. Then it transitioned to we restarted it and then we killed it. Yeah. Yeah,
we've been trying to get a podcast up and running for several years.
And this is the first one that we launched on YouTube. And
this is the first time we've ever gone into the Dibble? Double digits.
Well, the last one, the Player's Choice, got up to episode 6.
Yeah.
I still have it. Like, I have all the episodes.
I think, only 4 were actually released.
Yeah, that's what we released them on iTunes.
Yeah.
See, the problem with iTunes is, it's
Are they still on there?
I don't know. I mean, you could search for them. I thought I took them down. Let's see. Players choice iTunes. Let's see. I don't think so. Unless it's one word. No, that's not in there anymore. I took it off.
Do you still have the audio, though?
Oh, yeah. I still do.
Huh.
Yeah, I mean, it was an okay show. I mean, Andy was really good.
Yeah.
But yeah, as I was saying, the problem is, like, with iTunes, it's not really a discovery platform, whereas YouTube is. So at YouTube, what I was able to do is take my current fan base, and that's how I was able to get the show started. Whereas we were getting maybe 20 views a week on the Player's Choice. Now we're getting 1,000 a week. So it's far superior than our old show. So take care, guys. Unless Kevin has anything more he wants to add.
Nope. I've got nothing to say.
Hopefully I'm not still sick next week.
Yeah.
Cause
well, if you are, we might have to strap you to a bed and then put a gun against your head. So we don't want to infect mankind with the zombie virus.
Playing that game way too much, man. You know what? We should tax that game because it's brainwashing you into thinking that a zombie apocalypse is possible.
And I see everyone as zombies.
Yes.
What am I, Victor Saz?
Yes.
Okay, so
take care, guys. Look out for future episodes.
And have a nice day.